Did you know about Sam Ukwuachu's history at Boise before he arrived at Baylor? Were you
No.
even aware of him coming to campus?
No.
So for the benefit of people in the room who don't know, Mr. Ukwuachu came from Boise to Baylor. He transferred to Baylor in May of 2013. He had been dismissed from the Boise team. Come out subsequently that there was an accusation that he had assaulted somebody when he was at Boise and had been dismissed from Boise. And there was a question as to whether Baylor athletics officials knew when they accepted him as a transfer and brought him onto the team that he had had this history. First, Coach Briles said he did not know. Then the Boise coach actually told ESPN that he had specifically had a conversation with Coach Briles in which he said this.
No, you're wrong.
Well, that's what the ESPN reported.
And ESPN was wrong. And a grave injustice was done. If you check the records, this is now all in the public domain.
Yes.
Sam Ukwuachu was not dismissed because of any act of violence whatsoever. In fact, as part of our regular procedures at Baylor, consistent with NCAA policy, we received at the time a form from Boise State that said he is eligible for returning.
Yes.
And that's key. Is he eligible for readmission? Moreover, Coach Peterson did not say, has never been quoted as saying, that I told Coach Briles about, quote, violence. There was no such conversation. There was a conversation. When we
But ESPN has reported that. You know that.
And they took it down.
And they've taken it down.
They took it down because it was a terrible injustice to Art Briles. I think it's also an injustice to Coach Peterson, now at the University of Washington. I just don't think, Evan, stepping back, common sense, would one head coach say to another, please take a violent person off my hands? It just is not going to happen.
So then the university's position with regard to Mr. Ukwuachu is we did not know. We did not know of anything that would have caused us to be wary of taking him onto the team.
Correct. In fact, to the contrary, all of the indications were that Sam was depressed. He's from Houston.
Yep.
He should have stayed closer to home. He's first generation, a wonderful Nigerian-American family. And he was very unhappy. But the reason that he was dismissed, he wasn't dismissed from the university, he was dismissed from the team.
From the team.
For violation of team rules. And what was this violation of team rules? It had nothing to do with violence.
Right. So
it had to do late for practice, et cetera.
So when Mr. Ukwuachu then later is accused of assaulting a woman in October of 2013, he's ultimately, case goes to the McLennan County District Attorney in early 2014. He's then indicted in June. He's convicted he's arrested. He's indicted in June, arrested in July, and convicted in August of 2015, which is when the world becomes aware of those issues. This was not a case where the university feels like there were signs we should have seen.
Right.
Correct?
That's correct.